and I'll be sharing my screen, and then after PowerPoint. Sorry. Great. Can you give me a sign that you are seeing my my screen, please? Okay. So it's okay. Great. First, I have to remind you that if you have any request or any question and you want to send it by chat, please write your email on the chat, then send the question in order to be able to reply you by mail later on. Okay, great. So today we are here to continue what we've started in January regarding the Python level 1, and today we are achieving, or we are in process to do with you a Python level 2, how to deal with Python with your students in Okay, so I was saying that okay. So today we are going to proceed with level 2 Python in order to see how you will be dealing with students in grade 10, 11, 12, or even in lower grade like 8 and 9. Today, we have to remind you that in level 1, what we've learned is how to create a dialogue between the user and the computer using the command input and print, the data type, the variables, and how to create conditional statements. If you remember, we finished our level 1 session with an exercise how to add the if statement with multiple conditions. Like here, I have to review quickly my example. So I define a variable equal n to input the name, n1 and n2 to input the first and second grade of math, the variable average to calculate the average, and then after I will print my average, as you can see, and I go through a conditional statement to see if my average is greater than 18, I will print amazing, else I will, if it's greater than 16, I will print very good, and so on to reach the last value, which is between 10 and 0, in order to display fail. Today, in level 2, we are going to explore the embedded loop. We are going to explore the while loop, the for loop, and the turtle objects. And we consider that for this level, it's very convenient for you as teachers to implement those concepts for your students. And for the level 3 Python, we are going to explore the functions with and without parameters, and the array function, which is an advanced skills in Python. So this is what we are going to explore today, and I will be moving directly to the program MU. Hope you can see my screen now. Can you give me a sign if you can see my screen? Can you see my screen, please? Okay, great. Okay, so what is an embedded loop, or what is an embedded if? it's a kind of programming skills where we have to test conditions at different levels. And here it is considered as advanced skills in a way where students are asked to think in a different way somehow. I was starting an exercise, and I will be continuing it with you in order to show you how to explain the embedded if for students. So I will imagine an exercise. I will start by an exercise, of course, where you have to calculate the total price of a product that you will buy from the supermarket, let's say, for a quantity number. And this product could be local product or imported product. So my data I have at the beginning is that if the quantity is greater than 10, I have to apply 5% if the product is local, and 10% if it is imported. And then if the quantity is less than 10, I have to apply 2% for local and 7% for imported. So here, students must know that you have to evaluate conditions at 2 levels in order to solve this problem. And this kind of exercises is repeated many times in the curriculum, and students must understand this relation between the two if, or the two embedded if somehow. So I'll start my program with typing the type of product which is stored in the variable P. Look here, I wrote on line 3, P equal input, type the product category L for local, I for imported, and then I input the price, which is stored in the variable price, and I input the quantity, which is stored in the variable called QTE. So, and then here I will start my conditional statement by embedding 2if. So I will start by testing if the product equal L, which is local, then I will move to a lower level, which is, as you can see at line 7, the if is indented to the right for one indentation, to mention or to say that this if is included in the bigger one. So this is how you have to explain for your it's better to just 1 second. Microphone. Okay. So maybe you can hear me better now. Okay, great. So once I set my condition for the product type, which is local, then here I will go to test or to evaluate the quantity. So if the quantity is greater than 10, as we said here, so I have to apply 5% additional price on the initial price. So I will write total equal price times quantity times 0.05. So sorry, excuse me, I did a mistake, which is here I have to write plus, and then again I have to write copy times the price.
So here what I'm doing is or I can write 1.05. It's the same times 1.05. Okay, and I have to go back as an indent for else to point dot equal. If the quantity is less than, I have to apply like 2%. So price times quantity times 1.02%. So my price will be greater than the initial price or my total price for 2%. So this is for the local. And then after I go to else, and once I put my 2 points, as you can see, back again, it's one indentation for the inside. So I will copy paste all those values. And then I will go to if quantity is greater than 10 for imported, it's like 10%. So 1.1. And then if it's lower than 10, it's like 0.7. Okay, so this structure of embedded if will evaluate first the type of the product, which is local or imported. And then after, if it's local, we will be calculating the total price according to the quantity bought. So if it's greater than 10, the total price will be raised by 5%, else 2%. And if it's imported, it will be raised by 10% or 7%. And of course, at the end of the program, I will be moving to print, let's say, total price, sorry, comma, dot, or total. I will try to run my program. So embedded if 2. So here I will be typing my category, which is local. The unit price is, excuse me, my internet went off, so I have to share again your okay, the recording is okay. So as I was saying before, I will be running my program. I will type the type of product, which is local. The unit price is 10. The quantity is excuse me, I have some error on my internet. If it will come back again, I have to change my connection to try to use my 4G. Hopefully it will not be repeated. So as I said before, this program is made of 2 embedded if to test the category of product and the category of product and the quantity in order to apply the tax or on the total price. I'll be running my program. I type imported, total price it's 15, quantity is 10, and here you can see that my price is added to 160.5 the currency. So this kind of embedded if could be applied also for the loop that we are going to start now. And students here will be lost a little bit between the while loop and the if loop. So to start with, you have to begin with the for loop, which is much simple for if you want for your students. And then for the for loop, you have to give a series of examples on why we are using the loop and where we can use the loop in our coding or programming. So admit all. That's why I'm facing some internet problem. I don't know. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me well, please? Can you write on the chat if you are hearing me well? Can you are you hearing me well? Okay, great, great. Okay. So for the for loop, I advise you to start for the loops. Sorry, I advise you to start with the for loop, which is simple for students to start with and to understand that it is looping. And start by the first example, which is for I in range, and type like 8, just 8 and 2 points. When we go back to the new line, it's indented, and like start by the simplest function or command, which is print I. I will try to connect from my 4G. Excuse me. So I will share my screen and hopefully it will not cut anymore. So no sound. I think there's network glitch. Yes. Here is back. Okay, great. So for the for loop, you will start by this simple example, and once you will ask your students once you will ask your students to guess what is the result of, sorry, what is the result of this loop, I think they will struggle somewhere, since they will not know why it's for one parameter. So here you have to tell them that if the first parameter of the for loop is not precise, that means you are going to start with the 0 value. Okay, with the 0 value. That's why numbers from 0 to 7 will be displayed. And then after, you will start by giving them, let's say, many examples, like if we type 3,8, what will happen? So they are supposed to give you that they will, the values between 3 and 7 will be displayed. And if we add the third argument, which is the step values, so here you can see that once you are in the for loop, the explanation of the command is displayed on your screen. So if I type here 2, for example, and then I ask to run, so only values or numbers 3, 5, and 7 are displayed on the screen. So this is the way how you introduce the for loop, and you will ask them, what happens if I type here, let's say -1, okay? So by clicking on the sorry, comma, by clicking on the run, nothing will happen. Why? Because you ask your loop to go back from 3 to reach the value 8, and you ask it to go back one step backward. So it will never reach the value 3. That's why it will not show any information. That's why here students are asked to understand that if they have to go back in the loop backward, not forward, they must put the bigger value at the beginning and the lower value as a second argument in order to display the values. And you can see here that information are displayed 7, 6, 8, 7, 6 to reach the value 3. Of course, we will discover how to manipulate the for loop by using the object turtle in order to display shapes, for example. or even if you want to write, for example, text, you can do so. For the loop, even for or the while, all the manipulation could be done inside. This is what students must understand. The for loop or the while loop is made to repeat. Everything you put inside will be repeated many times. So here, if I write, for example, my value of I is comma I, all right, and then I will click on the run button. So you will see that my value of I is 8, is 7, is 6, and so on. I will be moving now to something new, which is how to introduce the while loop. And you have to make a comparison between using the for loop and using the while loop. The for loop is a loop that counts number of times, but the while loop, it's a conditional loop where you can use it like here to display numbers or to count numbers, number of times of looping, or you can evaluate, for example, for answers or for conditions within the loop. So I will start by translating the example that you have on the screen in a while loop in order to see the difference. So if I write here, or if I want to make the same loop with while, I have to define my counter, which is, let's say, x equal. So I have to start with the value 8, all right? And I will write while the x is greater than or equal to 2, 2 points. Go back to my new line. Let's say I will print same function. So I will print my value of I is I, and here I have to change the value of to change manually the value of x by typing x equal x minus 1. Okay, so if I click on run, you will see that the program repeated the loop 2 times. So from 8 till excuse me, there is an error here. X equal, sorry, I equal I minus 1. I equal, excuse me, x, okay. X equal x minus 1. So stop and run. Excuse me. So stop, run. All right. So as you can see here, my first loop displays numbers from 8 to 3. And my second loop displays number from 8 to 2, since I put here greater than or equal to 2. So to make it exactly the same as the for loop, I have to delete the equal sign. Those kinds of error are not really, you have to show them a few errors while explaining for students in order to think in a critical way. So here I did a comparison between the for loop and the while loop, and I'll be moving to show you in the while how I can make a conditional statement. So I will delete the for loop since I don't need it anymore. I will start my program with x equal 1, and then while x is less than or equal to 8, this means that my loop will turn 8 times. I will print the value of x, okay? And then here I will click on x equal x plus 1. So as you can see here, the values are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you see that the manipulation of the while loop and the for loop are the same for turning a series of certain number of times. But the problem is, if I want to make a conditional statement in the while, we are obliged to do it with the while and not with the for. For example, I will be giving this example: x equal input, let's say, type your age. Okay, so I have to add the ENT properties, and then I have to say that user must type the value which is greater than 18, and if he type a value less than 18, okay, we have to let's say type again this value. So I will go back here and say, if x is less than or equal to less than 18, I have to input again the value. So I will be asking again and again to type my my value of my age. So while x is less than 18, I have to type again. Let me check if the program will run correctly. If I type 20, if I type 20, the program will end. If I type 12, the program will ask me always to type a value. And when I type a value greater than 18, the program will end. This kind of while loop is a conditional statement loop where I can evaluate a condition at the same time while looping. So you can see that there is no counter in this kind of loop. So I did a kind of comparison between the for loop, how to manipulate it, and the while loop. Now I'll be moving to the object turtle to introduce it in case you are not aware of. And once introduced, we will move to a series of exercises that you can implement and practice with your students. Sorry, Sadia, you have a question. I'll try to make you unmute. Excuse me. Do you want to ask a question, Sadia? Mr. Ihab, do you have a question?
Yes, Doc. Can you
so
add some
now
Arabic?
I'll be moving to, as we said, the turtle object, where it's an object where kids have to learn this object in order to merge between drawing geometrical shapes in math with the coding skills. That's why the turtle, it's an object that should be imported. And you have to tell your students that in Python, we have many libraries that we can import in order to add features to Python, like the turtle, like the math library, like the statistical library, like the random library. So we have lots of libraries in order to add and to work with. One of the most important libraries is the turtle, that I have to start importing it by typing import turtle. And then after, I have to use the commands in order to make the turtle move forward, backward, turn left, turn right, make the pen up, make the pen down. And as you can see, all those functions are like Scratch or even on small basics. So those skills are really basic and fundamental to make students understand those skills. That's why turtle.forward 100 make the turtle move forward, turtle.right it will make it run. So if I want to draw you will tell your students, if I want to draw a square, I have to repeat the move, the forward and the right 4 times. So if I click on the run, you can see that the turtle drawn a square. But my question, or your question to your students should be, is it possible to replace those instructions with a less code by using a for? Of course, yes. So all I have to do is to write for I in range 4 or 04. Let's write 04. Sorry. 04 2 point. Okay, look what I'll be doing. I will be deleting all those commands. Okay, and then I will be selecting the 2 lines and press 1 time on the tab. So you can see that the 2 commands are indented, one indentation to the right. So please ask your students not to do the indentation by pressing on the space bar. Use the indentation tab, the tab on the keyboard. If they have many lines to move one indentation, select them and press on the tab. Or if you want to move them left, select on press shift tab to make them go back. So here, as you can see, the result will be the same, but we have less code to draw the shape on the screen. So here, it's my first implementation of the object turtle using the forward loop. Okay, so my question is, once I want to draw polygons, and we know that polygons has many, let's say, many sides. Okay, the square has 4 sides, the triangle has 3 sides, the octagon, the pentagon, and so on. So the golden rule to make students understand how to draw especially triangle, equilateral triangle, is this rule, which is divide the 360 degrees, which is a complete turn. So I repeat, divide the 360 degrees by the number of sides in order to obtain how many degrees the turtle should turn. And if we take the example of the equilateral triangle, so we know that there is 3 sides. If we divide 360 by 3, we will obtain 120. So here I will type and repeat 3. And instead of writing 190, I will type 120. And once I click on the run, you see that it draws the triangle. Now, if we want to go more, I will try to make my quick calculation by drawing 5, and 360 divided by 5, it's 72 degrees. So I will replace my 120 by 72. And then if I click on stop and run, you will see that there is a new shape. I think it's the pentagon. I don't know. The pentagon, which is drawn by my turtle. So the golden rule, I repeat, always divide 360 by the number of sides in order to obtain the correct shape that you are drawing. I'll be back to my sorry, to my square. Okay, and now we will start moving by explaining to students how to implement the embedded loop in order to draw what we call to repeat the shape. So imagine if I want to repeat the same square many times, I have to repeat the repeat. So this is what we call the embedded loop. And to make the embedded loop clear for students, you have to compare the embedded loop to a big box, which inside there is a small box. And look how I explain to my students how the embedded loop functions or works. Imagine that I have a big box. I move it one time. The small box inside will repeat or will move 4 times. Once I move it a second time, the small box will move also 4 times. So this is how you will be explaining to your students how the embedded loop functions or works is by moving the big loop one time, the small one will move as many as it was set for. That's why if I write for G in range 0, 0, 7 to point, look how I will be indenting the small loop. I will be selecting all the for loop and press one time on the tab from my keyboard. You will see that there is now what we call the embedded loop. So by clicking on the run, you will see that the square will be repeated on itself by 7 times. Okay, so it has no sense to repeat the square 7 times on the same lines. That's why it's the secure path that you will be using with this example to make your student understand what is the embedded loop. All you have to do is to add one line, okay, at the level of the bigger loop by adding, let's say, turtle dot right, let's say 20 degrees. Okay, so what will happen now, as simple, is that the bigger loop will turn 4 times in order to draw the square, and then at the end it will rotate for 20 degrees. Okay, so if I click on the start, look what will happen now. We have a pattern created by the embedded loop. And here, please give this example to your student that today in many fields, and I know that in the fashion field now, they are using the algorithm and the coding in order to create new pattern and to paint them or to print them on the tissues in order to make clothes. Okay, so here to say that it's really important for students to know that what we can do with the embedded loop is unlimited ideas, unlimited exercises, and unlimited manipulation. So now the golden rule for how to make the square be repeated a complete round is that this value, which is the number of times and the rotation, the product of those two values should be always 360. I mean, if I write here to repeat my square 36 times, the rotation should be only 10 degrees. Why? Because 36 times 10, it will make 360. So we will wait and see that this turtle will repeat the square 36 times and it will make a complete turn. So as you can see, the turtle, I can speed up my turtle by typing. I will show you how to write turtle.speed and to put the value of the speed. So it will be finished in like a few turns. So imagine how it is exciting and challenging for students to do such shapes. So it's done. I will be typing outside the loops turtle.speed, and then I will type 10. I guess it's the fastest speed I have. Look here how fast it is now, the turtle. So if I want to make, let's say, only 4 squares, I have to turn 90 degrees, sorry. So look here, it's done and the complete turn is made. What if, let's say, I want to repeat 10 times, down I have to write 36. So always think about the product of the number of turn and the value of rotation should be always 360. But what if I add next to the turtle.write, turtle.move, let's say 50? What will happen now is once the first square is drawn, a rotation of 36 degrees is done and the turtle will move for 50 steps in order to draw the second square. So you will have now, sorry, there is a, sorry, turtle.forward. Excuse me. So look here. So now the shape is different than the first one. So always think about the creativity and keep your students explore their challenges and their creativity and so on. I forget to tell you that I believe you know that turtle.pen color, let's say equal, I believe, red, I think, and sorry, it's not it's turtle, and here again turtle dot size, pen size, let's say 5. Let's see what will happen now. There is an error, maybe red, it should not be written. Also pen color to sorry, it's turtle. It's always critical. So pen turtle. Okay. Hopefully now. Okay, it's okay. Even teachers can make errors. It's not a problem. So, and here, while turning, you can change the value of the colors because we can use the RGB values, and the RGB, since they are numeric values, we can use variables instead and change those variables in order to create a rainbow color. Now, the second level of drawing shapes using the embedded loop is to repeat the same shape, but in a horizontal way or in a vertical way or in a diagonal way. So here, there is a great concept that you should give to your students, is that if I want to draw a square and repeat it 5 times in a horizontal way, the skills that you should give to your students is that here on those 2 lines, I have to put my turtle the same position and the same orientation like if it was for the first square. I will do it and we will see how it will work. So here I will repeat 1 time in order to identify what I'm saying. So I will be turtle dot pen up to raise the pen of the color without writing anything inside the bracket, and then turtle dot forward 120. Why 120? Because the side is equal to 100 and I want to move it 20 points or 20 steps furthermore. And then after, turtle dot pen down, and then I will try my program. Look how for 1 rotation of the big loop, the turtle draws a square and move to the starting point like if it was drawing for the first one. Now it is very simple now to repeat this shape, which is the square. I will be making it smaller by replacing 100 by 50 and here by 70, and I will ask it to make it, let's say, 4 times. Look the result. Believe me, if you reach at this level of embedded loop with your students, it means that you succeed in your mission by making the students understand how to work with the embedded loop. The next level or the next question or exercise that you will be asking your teacher, your students, is the same exercise to make it, let's say, in a vertical way. So instead of moving the turtle horizontally, okay, you should move it vertically down at the same position. So all I have to do is to keep the turtle pen up at the first line. Then you have to turn turtle dot right 90 degrees to make the turtle point to down, and then move forward 70, and then to make it left to be at the same position. And I'll be showing you turtle dot left 90 degrees. I will repeat it 1 time in order to be able to see, and this is what you should do with your students. So once I click on the run, look what will happen. Same as for the horizontal, but for the vertical now, look how the turtle is positioned at the same point like if to draw the second square. So all I have to do here is to make it for like 5 times, and then look what will happen now. So the square is repeated 5 times. Okay, now you can make it horizontal, you can make it as a stair, you can make the shape that you want. No limit for this manipulation. Okay, so as a recap, what we saw today, today we learned how to practice the embedded loop. Just 1 second. Admit there is late attendees for this webinar. Okay, so we've learned how to create embedded if to evaluate two conditions by giving this example of local and imported goods and apply tax according to the quantity of product that we buy. We introduced the for loop and how to make the for loop move forward or backward, and by moving for many steps, two forward or three backward and so on. And of course we introduced the turtle objects in order to draw shapes and how to repeat, and the concept of repeating shapes at many levels by this harmony of the two loops. Even if you want to repeat the value or the object in a horizontal or in a vertical way. Okay, and as we said, or as it was planned, so the embedded if, the while, the for, and the turtle objects. This is great. And in addition, I will be showing you maybe it's introduced in our book, right click, the modulo, the percentage to, which is mean the rest of the division by 2. So imagine here, if the value of x is 17, I build a condition to test if the x was divided by 2, the rest is, it will be even 0 or 1, which is normal. And if the rest will be is 1, so we will go for choice 1, which is, let's say we have a even number, and if, sorry, odd number, and if the number is the rest is 0, so the remainder, I mean, so the value will be even. Okay, the other example that I've prepared, which is how to embed, this is a typical example, how to merge between a if and loop at the same time. If you read with me the example on line 1, I declare a variable y and I store in it from the keyboard the value 1 or 2, and if the value is 1, a for loop will be declared to display the values between 6 and 12, and if the value of y is 2, the values of 50 to 39 backward will be displayed, and if the value type it's not 1 or 2, an error message will be displayed. So this kind of exercises will show students that I can combine the if statement with the loop statement in order to create those kind of exercises. So I'll be writing, for example, here 5, it will type me error. If I type 1, it will display from 6 to 12. And if I type 2, it will display from 50 to 40. So I will be moving to the other number, which is the other exercise, which I inverse the situation. If you see this exercise, it's the if, and inside the if there is a loop. In this exercise, there is a for loop outside, and inside there is a if. And this exercise will display numbers from 1 to 20, and next to each number it will write if it's even or odd, since I embedded a if condition to test the rest or the remainder of the division by 2. If the rest of the division is 0, the value even will be displayed. And if the value is 1, the value odd will be displayed. I will run my program, and as you can see, 1 odd, 2 even, 3 odd, and so on. Believe me that those kind of exercises, I should be writing here to remember Python level 2 to send you a set of exercises. So send set of exercises, typical one, like I'm showing you right now. So those kind of exercises could be done on computer, and even you can give them as a written assessment. This is really critical and very important to see if students can formulate a short paragraph to explain the content of a small program. So students, for example, in this program that you are seeing, students must write in a correct paragraph that this program in Python will display values from 1 to 20, and next to each number, it will say if it is even or odd, something or odd, something like that. So students should be able, and once students are able to explain in written, in a short paragraph, the content or what this program will do, believe me, I think that your mission is done, and you will be satisfied with the result. So mainly, I have too many chats showing screen not shared. No, it's shared. Maybe you have, or maybe I have a little bit problem of connection. In all cases, the session is recorded. I will be sending you the recorded session in case you miss a part. So right now, I repeat, if you have any recommendation, please send it by chat, by starting starting your message by writing the email and the question in order, or your request in order to send. I will be sharing with you right now. Just give me 1 second, please, to share with you the Google form. Just 1 second, please. The Google form in order to share for. Okay, great. So I'll be sending you right now the Google form. Copy. Okay. Chat. Please, I'll send you right now the Google form in order to fill your information to receive the certificate of participation. Okay, you have to give me some time during the weekend to prepare the certification. Mrs. Gina is asking about the session of this morning. Of course, it's a manual procedure to generate the certification. It will be a little bit tough for us to prepare them for in few hours. I'll be preparing them during the weekend. So please fill the Google form right now. I'll be sending you the recorded session for this webinar. The PowerPoint, no need, since it's too short, there is no information inside. And I'll be sending you additional exercises to have ideas about those manipulation. Hope that you enjoyed this session. I remind you that we focus today on the embedded if, the embedded loop, the difference between the if and the and, how to implement the if statement in a loop, or how to implement a loop in an if statement. Okay. The level 3 Python will be how to use functions with or without parameters, and to start with the list or arrays, how to store data in list and arrays. I really thank you for your participation. I will be unmuting you in order if you have any questions. So you are unmute. If you have any question, please do not be late to start filling the form for the participation form. Can you open, Mr. Muhammad Nurdin, can you open your mic? It's okay, just to see if you are unmuted. I'll be sending you the Google form again. I sent the Google form again. I will be stopped recording.